Hi, everybody. The Spirit is moving me, and especially after the last video that I put out, I was in a pretty scared state. I was feeling pretty anxious and concerned about what was happening around the world. And all morning, I have been uplifted, and actually since then, since I put that out. So many of your comments, all of your comments, every single one of you guys, I'll tell you, you guys are just your joy. You're a joy to me. We build each other up, and that's what's really important. We need to keep on getting down there in the spirit and lifting each other up, and he is definitely, and it's a good reminder of what of giving it to God and letting it go. And this is something that I've actually followed throughout my life since I was a Jehovah's Witness back then, to release things, to lay your burdens at his feet and to walk away. And when I was actually younger, it was very hard to do that. I didn't really quite understand that. But I found since I came back to him, I've been able to do that from time to time. I've been able to literally hand it to him and say, I am unworthy. I don't have the ability, the emotional ability, the physical ability, or whatever it is. Like I am just a dirty rag, and I can't do it. But I know that he wants the best for me, and he wants the best for you. So I let it go. I hand it to him, literally, like I have a package in my hand, and I hand it to him, and then I let it go, and literally let it go. I just like walk away from that, and I say, okay, I know he's going to fix this. I'm not saying that you don't go back and tend to it, because that doesn't mean, because you let it go, doesn't mean that you can't, that you have no more responsibility. Like if it's your job and you want to find a job, it doesn't mean that a job's just going to fall out of the air, although sometimes it does do that. But we still have to do our due diligence, is what I'm saying, to work along. But to work along that whatever effort that I make, God is going to bless that effort, and he's going to put it in the right spot. He's going to make it happen in the place and the way that is going to be the most beneficial. Because when you try to do it on your own, you may be able to fit that, round peg in that square hole by just like whittling it down and getting it, but it never fits. And it always ends up coming back to bite you, and you're thinking, oh, why did I do that? Why didn't I just listen? Because I could tell. I used to say this to my kids. If you're swimming against the stream and your life is just constantly fighting you, then you're not listening. You're not listening to that inner voice. At that time, I didn't know it was God, but that's truly even then, because he talks to the sinners too, right? Because he wants all to be saved. So if your life is really, really out of control, and I know that's with me, or even in small things, and you're trying to make this, maybe your pride's getting in the way, and you're not listening to what really should be done. Like you want it to be this way. Maybe that's not the best way for you and your family, or the circumstances. It's the only way you can see right now, but God has a full scope of everything, right? Like he can see every little detail and every little turn that starts to happen, so that when you just don't know that you're going to have to go around this road, and you're going to have to go under this bridge, and you're going to have to you don't know that, but he does. So it truly is a heartfelt release. Give it to him. Give your burdens to him. And that's what all of you guys reminded me of, is rely on him fully. Give your burdens to him, because he loves us. He loves us, and he wants the best for us, and we don't listen a lot to that voice. And worry is I can just see him putting up his hand saying, like, what are you doing? What are you doing worrying? Just ask me. I will fix it. I will do it for you. Just give me the word. I know what to do already. I'll tell you a couple of incidences where he has done this for me in my life. Oh, so many times. Like he's blessed me more than anything. Prayer today compared to even when I was Jehovah's Witness, because, I didn't fully have it then. Things weren't quite right then. But today when I ask him and I let go and I give it to him, I see miracles. Like they just pop up around me, like right now. It's amazing. But we were, I don't know no, I don't think I did. My husband about 6 weeks ago was in a pretty major car accident. He hit some ice in the middle of the fog and he tried to stop at a highway and his car hit the ice and went flying through there. And thank goodness, because it was like a week later, a young girl, 19, young girl in our area didn't make it. She hit a semi. A semi was coming at the same time. And this didn't happen to my husband. And he went flying across the ice and hit the other bank and flipped his car and hit a tree and called me up. He was working nights. He was coming home from work. Called me up 6 o'clock in the morning. I was expecting to have him ready for coffee. And I had to go now find him in the middle of this. It took me like over an hour to find him because it was so foggy. I couldn't see. I passed by him multiple times and I'm like praying. I was anxious at that time. I was just like, please let my husband be okay. Because I didn't know. He didn't want to call an ambulance. He was saying he was fine. I didn't know, so I was so terrified that I was going to lose him or something, And so I found him. And I look, and I'm patting him all over like he's getting annoyed with me, but I'm looking every inch of him because I want to make sure he's okay. And he didn't have he had one little scratch on his leg from this car accident. And I said, your head hurting? And I'm like asking all of these questions. And he was fine. So then I walked over to where the car was. Now I'll put the picture in. Maybe I'll start it with this picture, right? And I walked over and I looked at that. And I knew God wrapped his angel around my husband. Because he should not have survived that. So I came back to the car where he's finally getting warm because it was really cold. He was been sitting outside and didn't think about grabbing the silver blanket that we have in there, in the car, the emergency kit that we have in the car. But I just looked at him and I said, God protected you. And he goes, oh yeah. No. He protected you. Like he literally, for some reason, Carl, he saved you. And I think that was pretty profound on my husband's side because, he's working his way to Christ now and it's getting better and better and better and he's working his way. And at this time, he was still kind of far away from that. So this whole experience has really changed a lot of things that he's felt. So there was that. And then I said to him on the way home, I says, well, this is the way I'm going to take this whole situation because you were divinely protected. That I know for sure. I know that in my heart. I can see by looking what I'm looking at. You were divinely protected. So I'm going to just assume that everything else from this point with the insurance and getting a new vehicle or whatever it is going to be fine. And insurance companies aren't fine. They're not good. They're really nasty, right? So I just took that and I held on to that. And I prayed to God. I says, I'm going to give you this because this is overwhelming if I try to do it on my own. Please, I'll do all the things that I need to do. I will, do all the phone calls. I'll treat everybody kind and we'll just leave it like that. And my husband ended up getting the same amount of money as he paid for the car 5 years ago. Like that doesn't happen. He ended up finding a truck that was the same truck, with more features, a year younger, at the same price that he paid for the car 5 years ago. Okay, with less kilometers, a lot less kilometers. Like, this is crazy what was happening. And then we had a little bit of problem because the car had a little issue afterwards. And I forgot to give it to God. And so there was a bit of a, battle going back and forth. And then I realized, oh, I'm doing it again. And I'm dealing with people that really don't want to help me out anyway. So I have to do it with divine spirit from God, right? Like, because he'll change people's minds. He does that, right? So I prayed all night long. I had to talk to them the next day because they wanted us to buy some insurance to get the car fixed 2 days after we buy it. Like, they wanted us to spend up to $2,000 on insurance. It was not going to happen, and we didn't have the money. So I prayed about it the night before, and the next day I prayed before I started, and I just started talking to him and reached his humanity. But it wasn't me, And next thing I know, they're doing all the work for us. They're doing extra work for us. They went above and beyond. So this is what I'm saying. Like, when you try to grab it back, you can create more problems. But when you listen to that voice, that quiet voice, and when you get quiet and you pray and you turn things off and you just really, really give your burdens, cry, do whatever it is, like if you need to, or else, in those supplication times when you really, but at the end of the day, you brush your knees off when you get up and you say, okay, it's yours now. I'm going to follow your lead. And boy, does he ever he gives us better. And he gave my husband a better car, a younger car, better tires, like the whole thing for the same thing. Everything. God, not saying that he's a materialistic God. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he's going to make us all materialistically rich, because that's really not what this was all about. This was a problem that needed to be fixed that really could have went really rotten, but God helped move things in the right way to make it not. So I hope that encourages you. I am so blessed to have all of you. We become a great community, a great friendship of brothers and sisters. I really feel like I know you guys, so many of you. Like, I'm really bad at names, and if I don't have it in front of me, I will not remember. So forgive me if I don't say your names. But every single one of you that consistently are writing on, and the ones who periodically do, each and every one of you strengthen me. You help me, and I swear that I know that God sends certain ones to come and listen to my channel at the time when I need help. And it's the right words. And I'm reading them, and it's just like, oh, what a blessing I was just given. So it doesn't matter what the world is doing and the governments are doing. Yes, I mean, we have to be informed to some degree, but we are to still be happy and still be joyful and not to be fearful. Psalms 21, walk through the valley of the shadow of death is where we are right now, but we are to fear no evil. And our cups are to be overflowing. And right now, because of all of you, my cup is so overflowing. And of course, because of our dear Lord in heaven and our Messiah, Jesus. I love you all. Talk to you later. Stay in love and light.